All right, welcome back to an episode of Beer, Bacon, and Bros. Right now, we're going to be talking about something that's near and dear to my heart, as always, is the Pittsburgh Steelers situation. Earlier this morning, Ben Roethlisberger finally announced he was retiring. Kind of made me nervous because he wouldn't say it yet, and I was like, please don't come back. Me and Stephen A. Smith actually agreed on something for the first time in my life.
Holy shit!
They asked Stephen A. Smith. They asked
Stephen
Stephen A. Smith about. They asked Stephen A. Smith about the Ben Roethlisberger retirement, and Stephen A. Smith, being an avid Steelers fan, said the same thing I did. Thank God. We love you. We respect you so much. You did so much for our team, but after the 2019 elbow surgery,
I need you to
you
go.
needed to have gone.
It's like a kid when they're 19 and they haven't left the house yet. It's like, all right, it's time for you to go.
Yeah.
Like,
We appreciate everything you've done so far, but dear God, recognize when it's over.
Yeah, it's fun. It's time to
So he's finally retired.
That was a good little video.
It was a good little video. It was great.
Yeah.
Having the family there and everything with them they did at home. So now what we're going to talk about here is what should Pittsburgh do for the quarterback situation? Should they stick with Mason Rudolph or God help us all, Dwayne Haskins?
Joshua Dobbs.
Joshua Dobbs too.
God help us all, Dwayne Haskins. You could have only done one thing to make that better. Dwayne, God help us all, Haskins.
Joshua Dobbs. Or do they go out for free agency or draft a new quarterback?
So what I heard was y'all getting Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
Please no. He leads the NFL in interceptions for the past 3 years.
That's what I heard y'all needed, though, right? That's what
no, because Ben was good for that.
At least one
day, right? I guess we'll start off with existing NFL players. Let's get some names out there. I've got one that I think is going to be a little bit crazy.
Why don't you let off with your opinions on who?
Yeah, okay. So if they do go out and get existing NFL players, I think the number one they need to target is Aaron Rodgers. Russell Wilson would be decent. I just don't think his style would fit our offense. Mitch Trubisky.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he'd be something that we could go and get for cheap and be able to throw into the system and see how it goes.
At least for a year or two.
Yeah,
see what happens.
It's a who gives a shit if this goes badly kind of situation.
How do they already know with Dwayne Haskins?
Yeah,
like Sam Darnold in Carolina.
Darnold in Carolina.
Definitely off the radar, like you said, would be able to, and with that you would save enough capital if you wanted to. Y'all could re-sign Juju.
Yeah, re-sign Juju and keep that going. That's my three for existing active NFL players right now.
I agree with you. If Aaron Rodgers is requesting a trade from Green Bay, needs to be their first call.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we've all said that earlier.
We were talking about that earlier.
We were talking about Aaron Rodgers potentially going to Pittsburgh.
Getting a veteran guy and Matt Ryan. Go, get him out of Atlanta. That again, you're probably gonna.
Is Matt Ryan a contract year?
Yeah, he's still in contract.
So, but you might get him for what, $30 million? Is he probably up there about that range?
So old.
He probably is somewhere.
But you can get him on a 3-year deal. And
yeah, maybe to get him 3 for $30. That's
and I do agree though. Matt Ryan is a great quarterback. I do think that a lot of times people will shit on Atlanta like the comeback against Brady. Yeah, but it wasn't Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan was not the one out there defending Tom Brady.
Correct.
I think Matt Ryan has been screwed a lot by his defense in a lot of these high-scoring games.
So, but that as a veteran presence in the league, who has playoff experience, who I think would fit in well, especially as of late once Atlanta let Julio walk, and having to make it work with some 1B receiver, A-level receivers, not A-plus level receivers.
Well, you only got Calvin Ridley for half the season.
And he walked.
And he walked.
But Calvin Ridley was, of course, wide receiver 1. But Russell Gage hadn't been bad. Now Kyle Pitts.
Zacchaeus or Zechariah, whatever his name is.
Yeah. He wasn't bad. Kyle Pitts is obviously, he emerged.
Yeah.
Kyle Pitts was not good early in the season.
God, no, he was horrible.
So.
But after week 6, he finally figured it out. And
after that week in London, he became more of a presence. But he wasn't what they hyped him to be.
No,
he didn't put up 4th overall pick numbers.
Yeah. He second in NFL history now as a rookie tight end?
He finished second. Yeah,
behind Ditka.
Yeah.
But either way, he's still a 1,000-yard receiver.
Yeah.
So now, if you take
to 1,000? Yeah.
if you take Matt Ryan to Pittsburgh, you got Fairmouth, decent tight end. You like you say, Deontay Johnson, Claypool.
You got a chance to re-sign Juju.
Yeah, he's got
Najee Harris.
You don't have that star wideout like Matt Ryan had for 8 years with Julio, but you got talent around you can make it work.
And you have the best defense you've ever played with your entire career.
Yeah.
Which is sad to say in year, what is he going into?
18.
12 or 13,
Yeah,
something like that.
I think
So,
it was 13.
Yeah,
14.
He's been there since 2008. This was
14,
12.
14.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah. So I have 3 veteran quarterbacks. Obviously, the Aaron Rodgers situation is great. I think he's trending a little bit more towards Denver, especially with them hiring his OC today and now his offensive line coach from the Packers to become the next OC.
I don't know if I'd follow the offensive line coach.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't. Not that he had a whole lot going on over there.
Yeah.
But I think Matt Ryan makes a little bit of sense, and it's twofold. One, he's probably only going to play a year, maybe 2 at the max. You can get another young quarterback in there, and he doesn't have to immediately start, which is what the NFL started to trend to as far as these good quarterbacks. 2, he has been to a Super Bowl. He's already used to a sucky ass offensive line. He's getting sacked 40 times a season already, so he's kind of used to that offensive line. I think he has the talent. He's still got the arm talent. He's still got the ability to throw the football down the field, and he would have more talent in Pittsburgh than he would. So I think it makes a little bit of sense, and he's going to come a lot cheaper than any of the other names.
Yep.
I think for me, the second guy was Kirk Cousins. Kurt's younger. He's 33.
Is he getting out of that $84 million deal out of
Minnesota?
Minnesota?
A 2 or 3 year contract.
He's actually, I think he's under. I think he maybe have one more year. So he maybe only has one more year on his deal, but
What, like an 4?
he might be done with
It
his
was
deal.
like a 3-year deal.
It was only a 3-year deal.
I thought it was
So-
like 4 for 84.
No, it was
Well,
3 for
either way, he's played 4 seasons.
Yeah.
So he either is close to the end of the deal or at the end of the deal. A guy that's a 4,000-yard passer, a 30 touchdown guy for 3 of the last 4 years.
Yeah, he's not a bad quarterback.
He's really not a bad quarterback. You fit him into a system where you got a great defense, you have a good running back. You limit him on his throws, and you just send him out there to not turn the ball over.
Yep.
And I think Kirk Cousins can actually be a guy that could actually help them win a Super Bowl. And then a name that's kind of started to get a little hot the last week, especially with the way the Raiders lost out of the playoffs. The Raiders are talking about whether Derek Carr is the answer, whether at 30 they need to go ahead and just move on from him and draft a young quarterback. If Pittsburgh can go get a 30-year-old Derek Carr, who's a 4,000-yard passer, who has basically
almost a
no
5,000-yard passer.
Yeah, he has nobody to throw the football outside of his freaking tight end. Like, let's be real. Hunter Renfrow had a great season. I'll give you that. Darren Waller has been the only consistent guy he's been able to throw the football to for probably 4 seasons now.
Well, I say Ruggs would have been the answer until Speed Demon.
Ruggs still isn't as good as Dante Johnson or Chase Claypool. Derek Carr would be a really interesting pick because maybe he's not as good as he doesn't put up as good of numbers as Kirk Cousins or as good as Matt Ryan used to put up. But at 30 years old, you got some room to play.
And I mean, you brought a great point though.
It throws for 4,000 yards.
Yeah.
I mean, he almost threw for 5,000 this past season, and the talent his receiving corps was just not there. And then, I mean, the touchdown to interception ratio is not bad either. This year was a little bit higher, but
he's usually
2020, 2019, he
Yeah.
didn't even break 10 interceptions.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, obviously Aaron Rodgers is the go-to, but I think these are 3 names that if Pittsburgh's going to go get a veteran guy, it's not going to be Russell Wilson. I mean, I have literally heard from somebody that knows Russell Wilson that he's going to the Giants. But on top of that, I just don't think that Russell Wilson fits your system. I thought that the only chance Russell had of really going somewhere where he could be successful that Russell probably wanted to go to was New Orleans, but now with Sean Payton retiring, it's kind of a tough call there. So Philly thinks they have a chance for Russell Wilson. We'll see. But, I mean, those are my 3 guys. Of course, Aaron Rodgers would be the number 1 guy. But those are my 3 guys outside of Aaron Rodgers that could make sense and probably salary cap-wise.
Rodgers would be the number 1 guy, but it really all depends on what you can move to actually get him to come in as far as cap space. But, I mean, I like Kirk Cousins and Derek Carr. I think Derek Carr, he's younger, so you can probably have him for at least
5, 7 seasons?
7 to 8 years.
If he
depending on what he
I would
does.
say, but what would you expect to get him in? Like right now, you expect to get him on a 4-year deal?
I don't even know if Pittsburgh would do that. I think they would do like a 3-2 or something like that.
I don't know what Derek Carr's got left on his deal in general, but
if say it was the end of his deal, this year he would be a free agent.
I think Pittsburgh would only do a 2 or 3 year deal.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying.
Just because he's 30 years old and he hasn't been there his entire career, I think they'd only do like a 2 or 3 year deal.
So you'd be looking, We'll give you, like you say,
Like,
two, 3 max though. But
3
give
for
you
60. I mean, somewhere around in that range.
I think if Pittsburgh was going to try to do the, I'm going to narrow it down. Like, of course, Rodgers, number 1 pick, obviously, a lot of money. But if Pittsburgh was going to try to go through, let's sneak something in here, kind of off the radar, let's see what kind of happens. I would have to say it'd either, in my opinion, the Derek Carr, the Mitch Trubisky route, and then possibly the Kirk Cousins. Those would be three QBs that you wouldn't have to pay a whole lot of money for, and you know that they can perform if the situation's right, so why not see if you can make the situation right for them all the time?
yeah. I think of the list, if I want to win a Super Bowl, obviously Aaron Rodgers is the top guy, but I think the second guy for me, I would say the best chance for Pittsburgh is probably Kirk Cousins. It's probably somebody that can go win you a game if you need a quarterback to kind of really step up, but also a guy that doesn't turn the ball over and has flash the arm talent and the ability to handle an offense the way Pittsburgh offense is currently structured. So
Matt Ryan would be your cheapest.
Matt Ryan would
those
be
three would be the cheapest.
Matt Ryan would be a guy that could get you into the playoffs for sure. Stars would have to really align for him to go win a Super Bowl for you. But Matt Ryan also makes a sense if Pittsburgh doesn't want to give up their first round pick and wants to go get a quarterback that can sit for 2 years.
Yeah.
So, speaking of which, if you were going to take a quarterback in this class for Pittsburgh, who you taking? Pickett?
It's either Kenny Pickett or Matt Corral, whichever one's available.
Okay.
Corral's going to be probably the first one off the board.
Yeah, me and Chris were texting about earlier that
Corral
shot up the mock draft boards.
I have no idea why. We'll have to get into that later.
Corral probably go first off the board. Pickett's probably the best quarterback in the draft. In my opinion.
I don't know. Is
Carson Strong.
I'm gonna say is Carson Strong coming out this draft?
He is, yeah, he's coming, and he's sitting at quarterback 4 right now.
Yeah, but Pickett's still, in my opinion.
I would say Strong's not bad. Pickett would be a solid one, and then I don't know, Sam Howell.
Yeah, Sam Howell's an interesting name. I think personally for me, I think Sam Howell's going to end up being a bust. I think he's going to be the next Baker Mayfield, but
look good in college and then never pan out in the pros.
Jimmy Clausen.
Yep, Jimmy Clausen. Brady Quinn.
Johnny Manziel.
Oh yeah. But Kenny Pickett would be mine. I think Kenny Pickett,
we've
already talked about, he's already from Pittsburgh.
He plays in the stadium. He wears number 7.
He knows a little bit about it, what it feels like.
Just transfer the information over.
Yeah.
Just
change the colors. Yep.
So I think he actually, honestly, could step onto the field, and which Pittsburgh's done a good job of in the past, especially with Ben Roethlisberger. He could step onto the field and be effective enough to help.
I say, do you think he could be a day one impact?
Yes.
At that.
Yeah. And it's one of those things now we got to kind of talk about though is if Pittsburgh goes in the offseason and gets a quarterback, the draft needs to be focused on offensive line.
Yeah.
If they don't get a quarterback in the offseason, the offseason needs to be focused on offensive line.
Yeah.
You got to do the trade off, one or the other.
Well, yeah, because next year's quarterback class is supposed to be better than this year's quarterback class. So do you
try to ride Mason Rudolph out for a year and see what happens?
Dwayne Haskins?
No.
No. Pittsburgh is in a win now situation. You have the talent on offense. You don't have a very good offensive line. I'll give you that. You're a little weak in the secondary, but your defense is elite. It is top 5 in the NFL. You need to go get a veteran quarterback, and you need to try and win a Super Bowl. Let us know what you think. Who should be the next Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback? Should they take somebody in the draft? Should it be one of these free agents? And as always, make sure you're subscribing to the channel. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook, beer_Macon_bros, and we appreciate the support.